So, good evening, YouTube land. This evening, we're going to be working on a 2014 Lincoln Navigator. Funny thing about this, the other day I was fertilizing my yard. As you see, it has not yet grown. And I noticed that I had a wet frame right back there. So I thought that was very odd. Trace the leak up. As you can see, I got a piece of old jean right there catching some of the fluid. And as I was tracing the leak up, I noticed that there was some residue, what looked like rusty water, down around the coils. And I was like, man, that's odd. I was thinking, man, I've got a blown head gasket, intake manifold, something crazy. Well, wasn't too terribly bad. I discovered that the rusty looking water was actually coolant, antifreeze. Got to looking around, see where it was coming from, cranked up the vehicle, and it was actually coming from right there. That's the culprit. That fitting, that plastic fitting where those three hoses go together, had started leaking. It was dripping down on the coil packs, getting around where the spark plugs go into the motor, and it was running down the hose there and dripping onto my frame. So I called O'Reilly's, asked them if they had the part that I needed. They said they didn't have the Motorcraft, however they had the house brand. I wanted to go ahead and go with the Motorcraft, so I waited a day. They brought it up in San Antonio. It's part number Motorcraft, it's at 1323. It's a radiator hose, or the coolant hose that goes from the engine block, the thermostat, splits off, goes underneath the motor. I really don't know where that goes. And then goes into the heater core back there. So for the last little bit, I've been working trying to get this thing taken apart. I will show y'all the easy version, not the hard version. So, as you can see, on this new piece, the fittings are these pressure fittings. So you have to take this one off, you have to apply forward pressure while pushing that in. And then once it clicks on both sides, then you have to pull the whole thing back. So I'm not gonna lie, that one underneath there, underneath that firewall, it took me a while to get done, about 20 something minutes. However, I have learned that it is not a good idea to be in a hurry when I'm working on anything. I have another vehicle, it runs fine. I did the window in that just the other day. My old trusty 2001 F-150 with the little 4.6 liter V8 in it, the Triton V8. Haven't had to work on that in a long time. But we'll go ahead and get started. This hose connects in three places. Like I said, connects back underneath the firewall, connects down here, to this metal hose here, aluminum hose here, and then it connects right here to the thermostat housing. So we'll go ahead and get this puppy on the road. Now you could use little, well, drags. Well, don't do that. Don't drop your screwdriver on the ground. This is a flathead screwdriver here. It's also a hex head, so you could probably use a little, I don't know, whatever that size is, 7/16 probably. But that'll work. Just push that over there. The new hose doesn't come with the new clamp. Push that clamp over there, then we don't have to worry about it. It's probably gonna be stuck on there pretty good. So what I used was a combination of a little chub, and voila, here it is, it's off. Little story, I was 17. I did that after, on my 1967 Cougar, after running a radiator clean through it. And when it came out, sprayed me, literally melted my t-shirt to my skin. That was the first time I ever used a profane word in front of my mother. But goodness gracious, that hurt really, really bad. So if the motor's hot, which it shouldn't be if you're working on the coolant system, because that'd be just a foolish idea, man, oh man, be careful. So like I said, you gotta apply downward pressure, push those two, and try to pull it off. There we go. Whew. And as you can see, I already got that one off. That took me a long time. What I had to do to get it off was I had to undo both of these, press in one side, rotate this thing up like this so I could press the other side. Man, it was a booger bear. It really, really was. So you can see on the back side of this where these hoses right here, where they just come into this fitting, I mean, they were just leaking. So notice the little pressure fittings did not come out of either one of those. So I will have to take those off separately. Now think about it, probably should have pulled that back one off before I started the camera. It would have made me look real slick. So I just gotta work them off.